Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. I thought we'd do this one today. I'm not sure whether I could say this one is for beginners, but beginners are certainly welcome to have a go at it. I've just stretched the paper. It's £140 rough paper. It's handmade from India, and what we'll get straight in there with is some cadmium orange with raw sienna and a touch of burnt sienna, and we're just going to go around the little bit of sun that we've taken out there and sort of pull it across. Bring some along here on the top. We're just getting colour on, really. Some into the bottom. Cadmium orange and raw sienna again, but with no burnt sienna added to it. So we'll get that in. Some down here as well. Bring it into the sea. And this is azo yellow and cadmium yellow. And I just want to add some of this into the sky. So we'll add a bright spot. Just where you think it needs it, just to brighten it. Add some down here as well. This helps to unify the painting, remembering that the colours will fade slightly. Just want maybe a little touch around where the sun is. Just help pull it out both directions. I'm using a number 30 round brush, but you use any brush that you feel comfortable with. And whilst we have that still wet, this is a mixture of French ultramarine, cadmium orange with some raw sienna and a tiny bit of burnt sienna, just to grey it down. And we'll add this in at the top along the horizon line, bringing it up into your other colours. Don't work it in too much. Bring some in onto the bottom where the sand is as well, where your boat is. Just lift a bit of the paint out. It's not really essential, but it just helps to keep you focused on where you want to paint without losing some of the lines. And then we're going to leave that to dry. Once your initial washes are dry, this is a mixture of cadmium orange, French ultramarine, with just a touch of burnt sienna, and we're just going to put the background sand or mud flats in, painting around your boat, just shaping the mud flats, just dropping in a little cadmium orange, which is sky colour, with some raw sienna added to it, like so. Bringing it along here as well. Let's pick the right colour. Same again, some cadmium orange, merge it together. Let's get this in. Drop more cadmium orange and raw sienna. This is a stronger mixture of the French ultramarine, cadmium orange with a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm just going to add some darks in here and there. And with an even stronger colour than that, it's the same colour this, but it has some burnt umber added to it, so it's French ultramarine, burnt umber and cadmium orange. We can put the background boats in, and taking a rigger brush we'll put the masts in. Little shadow underneath them. we have to leave that to dry. Okay, we'll move on to this boat here, and I'm just re-wetting the white area where the hull is, just for a little bit of the azo yellow which we put in the sky, and a yellow deep. We'll just bring some in here, stronger on this side's in shadow. Into that I just want to drop some grey, which I've made up with cobalt blue and burnt sienna. We'll just add this to create a shadow, or the mucky mark that sometimes develops. This is a mixture of cobalt blue and burnt sienna, but there's very little burnt sienna in it. And we're going to paint this onto the boat, leaving the window frames showing. Then with a stronger mixture of that colour, just add this into the deck because it's under shadow, just for a slightly deeper colour. It has a stronger mix of cobalt blue and the burnt sienna. Throwing this side into shadow as well, taking your rigger brush once again. We can add the radio mast, the little spotlight, come down to the fins, and the same colour in here, and allow it to merge with the bottom of the boat, all running together, creating some shadow under the boat. Soften this in, and then we need this to dry off just a little bit further, so we'll give it about 10 minutes. Okay, all I've done really while that was drying, I've just added a dark line around the side here and allowed it to drift across, but we're going back to the original colour of French ultramarine, cadmium orange and burnt sienna, and we're just going to darken in one or two areas along the back here. Into the background, just creating some shapes on the mud really, just to create some more interest in the background, just moving it forward all the time, just creating light and dark patches. And as we come towards the foreground, this is a darker mixture of the same colour, but it's a thicker mixture. We'll begin to add this in as well, but I think you get the general idea. It just creates them shapes that you find in the mud flats, that it's not all the same shape, it's not all smooth. And just keep doing that till you've covered the whole of your picture. I've just re-wet the water area and the sun, and what I'm going to do is put a very strong mix of that yellow just into the bottom part here, and we're just going to let that creep up, whilst at the same time put some in here, cadmium orange, raw sienna and a touch of burnt sienna. And I'm just going to bring this in just to strengthen the water area. I want to drop some of the yellow in as well, some of the sky colour, which was the cobalt blue and cadmium orange with burnt sienna added. Stronger on the back edge, just fading it out as you bring it forward. Just a little bit of reflection. This is the French ultramarine and burnt umber, and we will just paint the windows in, leaving a little white line around the edge. And I'm just dropping the stronger mix just on one side of the window. This will make a difference from dark to light. Just remove some paint off one side, and what will happen is the paint will creep back to this area, but this area will remain lighter with the cobalt blue and burnt sienna. And I'm just going to add a touch more colour to it because I want this to be a slightly different colour. And we'll just bring out the foredeck here, adding some of the darker mixture just along the bottom edge. Then with the cobalt blue and burnt sienna, which is on the grey side, I want to bring in the keel. And then once that has dried, we'll put the dark shadow side of it in, and we'll make this look more three-dimensional. Just a reflection of these bolts, but I don't want it to travel too far. Just pull a mast out slightly. Now all this needs to dry and then we can finish it off. Okay, paper's starting to dry out a little on the fast side now, so what I'm going to do is just going to put a couple of ripples in along the water here. And burnt umber. I just want to suggest a line along here. A couple of seagulls here, I think. Three is always better than two. Maybe one here. Just change the angle. An anchor rope. Maybe with a few dribs and drabs of seaweed hanging off it. Just suggest a few lines on here. It's only a suggestion. Forgive my arm. With some whitewash, that's one or two little highlights. Maybe just some alongside down the mast, the radio mast, a little bit down the side here. I might have to wait for this to dry. I'm just going to put some white tips on these gulls. I'll have to leave that to dry, then three there before we get round to that. So what we'll do now is we'll just get to the best bit now that the painting's basically completed, and we will sign it. You can put a framing mat round it or a border. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the like button and subscribe. Subscription will cost you nothing, and should you wish to have a go at any more painting videos, please click the link in the description box. Thank you very much for watching.